Good morning, it's now 9 a.m. I'm going to call this Cordele City Commission meeting to order for February the 17th. If I could, I'm going to ask that Pastor Connie Bivens come forward and give us an invocation, please.
Let us pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, we thank you for this is the day that you have made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Now, Father, as we have gathered here this morning for business matters, God, we ask, God, that you would touch each and every one of our hearts as we represent the citizens that have voted us into office and the citizens that have gathered today in support of all that we do for the city of Cordele. We ask, God, that you would touch our hearts and minds, and God, that we would be led of you, God, that we would honor your word and honor your practices, God, and honor the commandments that you've given us to love one another, even as we do business, Father. We ask, God, that you would give us clear direction and clarity, Father God, that we would discuss matters decently and in order, and that you would receive the glory out of every decision made, God, every vote taken, God, and every presentation presented on this morning. We thank you for this opportunity to represent your people, and we thank you, God, for doing all that you've done for us, that we might be equipped to do the work that has been set before us. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Commissioner Secretary, could you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Joseph Wright,
Here.
Commissioner Bernard Finn,
Here.
Commissioner George Singletary,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Vestavia Shepherd,
Here.
Mayor J. Wesley Raymond.
Here. Okay. Is there a motion to approve today's agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we add something to the agenda this time. Make a motion that we add the city manager employment to the agenda under new business.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to add it under new business. You want to add new business there?
I thought that would go in the executive section, sir. Anytime we read to personnel. Mr. May I address this to the attorney?
Ma'am, we can go, that's a discretion of the commission. If they choose to go into executive session in advance, they can do so. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't see no call for it. We've been in there a number of
We've
times.
always held personnel in the executive session, never in a regular meeting, so I think it'd be best we go into executive.
I think they, as I understand it, there intends to be a vote. That has to be on the agenda. You can go into executive session as well, but you need to add this to the agenda, if that's what the commission intends to do. So I think the motion is to adopt the agenda as amended.
Correct.
Okay, so that would be after executive session.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Okay. That's 3 votes, it carries. We'll be adding new business after executive session for the city manager's contract.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to place an item on the agenda, please.
Okay,
I move to amend the agenda to add a discussion item regarding Darren Felton construction project.
I second.
okay. There's a motion and a second.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We'll add that at after the regulating liquor stores. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the agenda with the 2 additions?
I so move.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, approval of work session minutes for January the 20th. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
I have a discussion with the mic.
Okay.
Why are we in, I'm just asking, because I'd like to know why those minutes are being done on this meeting and not on the last meeting, where they usually follow. I'm just asking.
Because I wasn't here. I
Oh,
was
that's
out
a good
sick.
reason.
I was out sick for a week and a half, then I had to go to training for a
Gotcha,
week.
okay, that's good
No,
enough.
but are
answer.
these the ones that there was no motion made?
No, he's saying the
The
work
work session.
session.
Okay.
minutes.
Minutes, the work session.
I just wondered, thank you, good answer.
Okay. Okay, is there a motion to approve the work session minutes for January the 20th?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Okay, is there a motion to approve the regular minute meetings from January the 20th?
So moved.
Okay, there's a motion, is there a second?
That's it.
Okay, motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Is there a motion? Okay, approval of regular minute meetings for February the 3rd, is there a motion?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the called minutes from February the 11th?
Wasn't many minutes, but I approve it, yeah.
Okay. Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion and a second to approve the called minute meetings from February the 11th. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Speaker appearances? No speaker appearance?
That's the next item, speaker appearance on specific agenda items.
Right.
I think that's what he's talking about.
Yeah. Now, speaker appearance on specific agenda items?
Mayor, if I may, you just amended the agenda to add some things. On the agenda items here, we have to sign in before 9 o'clock. So how do we speak on something that you just added to the agenda?
Would you like to speak on it now?
Most certainly if you're gonna talk about the contract, if you're gonna talk about these other agenda items that you just added, we most certainly wanna be heard on. I think it was a cheap shot to keep us from speaking.
Do you want to speak on them?
I most certainly wanna speak on, yeah.
Sign up and speak on them.
When I signed up to speak on one agenda item.
Right.
But you added up. Right, well, I'm already on, so we're good.
You're on there, okay.
You didn't tell
Do
me.
you want to speak now or at the agenda item?
I mean, it makes me no difference.
Okay.
It makes no difference.
Okay, which agenda items?
I want to speak on agenda item 7. The discussion of, suspended tax advisory, and most certainly the city manager's contract.
You want to speak at that time?
I will speak at that time. Chairman, you got here late, got some agenda items, got here late, they added some things you want to speak on.
Okay. The presentation from Malden Jenkins, they called in and were sick, so we'll skip that one. Okay. Okay. We're gonna go straight into our agenda items. Proclamation for the coach battle in Chris County Middle School basketball team.
I think I can read it pretty.
We're getting that put together.
Go ahead.
Okay. If I could get everybody to step forward, all the basketball team. Commissioner Shepherd's our proclamation ready for this one.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning. It is indeed an honor on behalf of the city of Cordele to make this proclamation this 17th day of February, 2026. Proclamation. Whereas Coach Kamisha Battle has demonstrated exceptional leadership, dedication, commitment to excellence in the development of student athletes. And whereas during the 21-2022 season, Coach Battle led her team to an undefeated season, advancing to the regional championship game, which was unfortunately canceled due to COVID-19 pandemic. And whereas in the years that followed, Coach Battle embraced the challenge of rebuilding and strengthening the basketball program with resolute determination and vision. And whereas Coach Battle leadership resulted in regional championship first runner-up finishes during 2023-24, 2024-25 season, demonstrating consistency, competitive, and sustained growth. And in 2025-2026 season, Coach Bell guided her team to distinguished honors and becoming Deep South Region champion, making a significant milestone in the program history. And whereas the accomplishment reflects Coach Bell's unwavering belief in discipline, accountability, teamwork, and long-term player development, both on and off the court. And whereas Coach Battle has positively impacted the lives of students, athletes by fostering leadership, character, and commitment of excellence, the Coach Kamisha Battle is hereby recognized and honored for her outstanding achievement in leadership and dedication to success for her basketball pro and the student athlete she serves. Now, therefore, the City Coordinating Commission do hereby honor and recognizes Coach Kamisha Battle, girls head basketball coach, and the girls basketball team of Christian Middle School Cougars, Cordele, Georgia, and encourage all students to join in celebrating their exceptional contribution to our community and the sports of basketball. Signed the 17th day of February 2026, Commissioner Mayor J. Wester Rain, Commissioner Bernard Finn, Commissioner Joy Singletary, Commissioner Joseph Wright, and Commissioner Mayor Pro Tem Vesta B. Shepherd. The players are 2025 Team roster: Peyton Solomon, Alicia Brown, Stephanie Finn, Jay Brown, Zahara Anderson, Kylie Jackson, Kylie Grace, Rayon Evans, Chloe Lawson, Jagnor Jahal, Zamiria Mumford, Brooklyn Cuffey, Jaleel Ferguson, Adeline Wilburn. The managers, Montasia Reed, Jordan Jackson. Coaching staff, head coach, Commissioner Ballard, assistant coaches, Shatrika Daniel and Brishay Brown. Congratulations, ladies, on behalf Commissioners. I like the women.
Let me get around back.
Wait a minute, now some of these girls calling me.
Thank you.
Okay, agenda item number 2, consider and approve alcohol renewal license with no exceptions, as noted. Is there a motion to approve these alcohol licenses?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion approved. Okay, swearing in of board members. I'm gonna swear everybody in at one time. If I could get Miss Latoya Davis, Kamisha Spears, Marlene Kimball, Miss Jean Oliver Burks, Lynn Barnes, and Dr. Cameron Causey to all come forward. Yeah, if y'all could come on. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all could just raise your right hand. Okay, say, I solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Georgia, and that I will, in all respects, observe the provisions of the charter and ordinances of the city of Cordele. That I will well truly perform the duties as members of the Board of Zoning Appeals, Planning Commission, Historic Preservation Commission, Downtown Development Authority. That I am not the holder of any accounted for public money due this state or any political subdivision or authority thereof. That I am not the holder of any office or trust under the government of the United States, any other state, or any foreign state by which the laws of the state of Georgia and I am prohibited from holding. That I am otherwise qualified to hold said office according to the Constitution and laws of Georgia, and that I will, to the utmost of my skill, ability, endeavor to promote the interest and property of said city without fear, favor, or affection, so help me God. We're gonna say I will?
I will.
All right, great. Great. Thank y'all. Ms. Mumford, she has several things for y'all to sign. If y'all could just step up here and sign. Thank y'all for serving. We appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, agenda item number 4, consider and approve a resolution providing for the regulatory fee for mobile food vendors within the corporate city limits of the city of Cordele, repealing all resolutions in conflict herewith. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second. Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion approved. Okay, agenda item number 5, consider and approve the second reading of an ordinance amending the chapter 17 of the city code of the city of Cordele, repealing section 17.8 entitled Motorized Cars, adopting the new article of chapter 17 entitled Personal Transportation Vehicle Ordinance. This will be repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinance in conflict herewith. Is there a motion?
So move.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion approved. Agenda item number 6, consider and approve the first reading of an ordinance declaring a portion of the municipal street as unnecessary, repealing all ordinances in conflict herewith and for such purposes. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion,
Discussion. Mr.
discussion, okay.
I had a gentleman from Cordele in that area to stop by yesterday. He's out of town because he's a trucker. And he has many questions that he would like to be answered on the project of closing that street off. I talked to Mr. Westbrook and his wife yesterday. He's in Florida and his wife had to go to surgery with one of the children. So they asked me to pass this on to the city commission. This is what I'd like to do this time, if I may, sir. They said they received a letter Saturday by FedEx from the city stating that they need to be at this meeting today.
I'm sorry,
They got
Mr. Westbrook or Ms. Walker, cause we only
The
sent.
Westbrook got a letter Saturday, they say.
No, we
He said he
only,
got a FedEx letter Saturday.
We sent out the letters, we
Huh?
sent all the adjoining property owners.
oh, you did?
Okay.
Okay, cause I know you all asked me just to send it to Ms.
We
Walker.
always do that.
Okay, well, he said he received it Saturday, but he had already had a load to go to Florida for the day, so he couldn't just drop his work. So he said that the entrance to the church, Grace of God Full Gospel Church, on the corner of 15th Street North and 11th Avenue West, he said they enter the property on 11th Avenue. There's not a driveway coming off 15th. He said if the city grants the business, I'm not gonna name it, total access to the street, who will be responsible for putting the driveway on 15th Street for the church access? He also said he was told by Cordele code officers, Mercer and Woods, years ago when he bought that property, that the north end of the property belonged to the city and it was the reason reserved for an alley, but there's not an alley there. He told them to do, he said they was told to do not block this area. If the business is allowed to purchase the street, it will block the church, it will block the house north of the church as well. I don't know, there's a church and a house, and there's a lot in between belong to the city, so the area land in between belong to the city. He says trucking turning into 11th Avenue previously ran over his meter. The city gave him another meter lead. Every time they run over, he had to come down here and get another lead to replace the cap. He says Dr. White is on 5.5 acres behind the Church of God in Christ, and he would not have access to the island either. Currently, Mr. White has been using the church, coming around the church to come out of his property, but he has no city access. He got 5.5 acres back up in there, as well as Ms. Walker. He said, on such a short notice, he said, I'm a trucker and must be in Miami, Florida on 2/17. My wife is scheduled to go to surgery with one of the children. Adjacent property church owner Pastor Leon Hughes will be listening in for me today. Pastor Hughes is here. So anything we need to relate to him today, he said, please relate to Pastor Hughes for the church, because the church also is in that area, but the church got a private drive to go to that church from 15.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
the church sits on the front of the property, and the ADS owns everything behind it, starting at the gas station right there that we have, all the easements that we have right there on the left. It runs behind the church, so they're not going to fence all the way down to 15th. They're fenced back up to where the property line starts, which is behind the church. The church owns that property. There's a camper, and I think the church sits there on the road. That's where they come behind that, where the big metal building is, and to the left, there's a chain link fence. That closes off to the rear. It doesn't affect anybody's coming in, because there's a fence already around the property, located there, all the way up through.
He asked me two other questions while we're on this. He asked me that he's crossing the city right away to get to his church. He said, will you sell the right of way also? Would that go with the sale if you sell the street? So if you sell the right of way, he said they have no way of getting onto their property. Currently, they're using the city right of way to cross over to get on their property. And he needs to know if his water meter is on the city property or his property.
His church sits on private property that's not owned by ADS.
anything behind the church, back behind it, where there's a camper, and then there's the, where white pickup and everything sits, there's a fence right back there. It's anything located behind it, okay? It doesn't affect, it will not affect that church anyway, because the churches will be before the fence.
So
And so we-
the church will not be blocked in?
No,
The fence
no,
will
no,
be
no, no.
behind the church, I mean, the
Right.
gates are,
I think there's a camper that sits behind it.
right, there's a camper behind it.
And the property line's right behind that.
Yes, we was out and we had project managers down there, we talked with him about it, and his first primary concern was that fence, whether or not the fence will come all the way down to 15th Street. We learned from the manager that it wouldn't come down that far, excuse me. However, but it would interfere with his parking on the side of his building, on 11th Avenue, and it would. Trucks, when they pass, when they turn, make that turn, especially if they coming from north, going to that building, they make a sharp turn, and it does cross his property. We saw that yesterday with the project manager, and the issue that he brought up about the meter was that they did not run with the meter, but it would encroach in on his people parking there. And I agree with that, because if they're having something during the weekend, those trucks are in and out of there, and they're making a sharp turn, and those cars are parked there, we're gonna have a problem. But then the next thing that we talked about, which he already brought up, Commissioner Bill, was him having access, and I told him we could be more careful, and we should have had it beginning from 15th Street to his property. And then he got that side, where he can park, and where Mr. Bourne told him, Lincoln, yeah, that alley, he just could not block that alley. Our question is, how would he block an alley that had already seemed to be part of ADS, right? I'm sorry, the private up there. Because our fence is on that line, and he said that he's gonna come to that fence. That's where his property started. We looked at the survey of that.
So you asking if the properties, if I'm out, Mayor, okay, you got your church sitting here, you got a fence over to the right, that's where y'all park, or you parking on the streets? Because there's gonna be 20 trucks coming in and out of there.
So
And you know, that's gonna take a lot of road maintenance up in there too.
his concern is those trucks that's going in and out of there, well, coming out is not gonna be a problem. Going in there, coming from north and turning up in there would be a problem, because they turn sharp on that corner, and they do get up on that side.
They should be coming off of 16th anyway.
We know what they probably should be.
Should be.
But I'm there, and I know what happened. We walked that yesterday. And
Mhm.
so that's one of his concerns. But I think, again, as I mentioned, what would help him would have access from 15th Street. That driveway put in there, we should have been in there when they done it, as they did ours.
Okay. We can get Public Works to go over there, get city manager, get Public Works to go over there and look at that if we want to, and table this to the next meeting.
Yeah.
And
Can we do
also,
that?
he asked the question, why can't the city widen that road and everybody continue to use it?
It's a dead end, right into their building down there. Dead ends right into it. So that's one of the reasons, and it's gonna cost anywhere from $90,000 to $120,000 the first time, and then after that, you got all those trucks running on it, it's going to continue to add. You're gonna have to go in there continually, and they're willing to take all that over and do it, so it's a dead end street, so that's what we're looking at, is being a dead end street, just go above it. Make sure you got enough room. We wanna make sure that, and that you have the parking. We'll,
Make a motion to table, yeah.
yeah.
We'll table it. We'll look at it
To the next
further.
meeting. Then that'll give us time to go over there and look at it,
First reading of the
and I'll get with the company and see what we can do better, okay? How about that? Good with you? Good with you? I mean, there's nothing we can do about the semis coming in and out. That company's been there.
to the second. So the second
Going
one
up
will be
to
on the
north,
next one.
even the dead end. Dead end.
Just go ahead and-
Years, I worked with them. But
You can.
Just prove this,
concern was,
and
number
then the
one,
second reading.
well, whether that fence gonna come all the way down to 50.
No.
Mr. Tony explained that to us, and we was familiar with that. We're not concerned so much with closing the road off, because there's nothing enough there, but that building is dead end in that property. And so, but his concern was whether it was gonna encroach on his property, by traffic of those trucks coming in and out of, like you say that, and he told us, possibly go in there after the day. Yeah, I think, one of the things that would help him to do that driveway off the city, that access off this 15th Street,
Did I make that motion?
Well, I'd just like to say, now this, there was a motion on the table, it was consider and approve, and this is a first reading. So you could carry this motion, and it's not approved until you do the second reading.
Okay. How about that? That'll work? That'll give us enough time to, get
Research.
Works over there to look at it and see what they can do.
So nothing will be done until after the second reading, that's just,
Okay.
okay. So do y'all, I'm gonna carry the motion to consider and approve the first reading.
yeah, I'm gonna go over there and look over there as well.
Oh, I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna
Y'all
go.
like me to look at it as well, y'all.
Yes, ma'am. I'm-
Better assessment of it.
You asked me if I put my eyes on it, put my hand on it too.
Okay. There's a motion and a second to consider the first reading, declaring a portion of the municipal street as unnecessary. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Okay, agenda item number 7, discussion, Bennett's Tax Advisory Services proposal and request from Commissioner Cemetery, Commissioner Wright, to provide William Bennett View only access to the Cordele banking accounts. Is there a motion for discussion?
So move.
Is there a second?
I have a discussion. It says City of Cordele bank accounts. Does the city have any bank accounts in any other jurisdiction other than Crisp County?
None that I
I
know.
know.
I'm just making sure. I didn't want, in case that we had one in the Cayman Islands or something. I want to make sure. Whatever. Okay, yeah, I'm good now.
Is that your second?
Yeah, I'll say.
Okay. All right. Motion and second discussion. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
On the Bennett Tax Services, as a tax advisor, I thought Mr. Bennett would be coming here to help us resolve the 2025 budget that we didn't complete, that one that we didn't complete. I thought he would come in and help us compromise the 2025 budget. That's the one that's in the center loophole right now, not 26, not 2024. I thought he would come in, reconcile with the staff, come in occasionally, not every day, but come in and work with the staff like previous CPAs have in the past. When Edward Beach was here, no offense to anyone, he hired this lady, her name was Elaine. Now, I think she was from Brunswick, Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. Elaine served for years as a assistant, if I'm not right, am I right, Mr. Mayor? And she left, right, 2022, 2023? And after that, we had no one, so we enlisted Mr. Bennett. I need to know what's the difference between a comprehensive audit and a forensic audit.
Forensic audit, if I might, is more of that's more of a police investigation. That's when you would call in the GBI. The GBI would go through your books a little bit more in detail. Comprehensive means they're just going over the all of our books. Okay, but forensic is a little bit more in depth. I mean,
Well, then why are we paying Martin and Jenkins for audit then, if we got to have someone else come in and do a comprehensive audit? That's one of my questions. Now, I thought there was nowhere, thank you all, there was nowhere in our discussion about a comprehensive audit. Our discussion
I
was
disagree, yes.
nowhere in the original
was.
plan.
What?
When we first talked to Mr. Bennett about his services, I did not read anywhere where a comprehensive audit was in this letter. Show me where it is, and then maybe I can understand better. Show me where it is that we had a comprehensive audit, then maybe I will understand. I knew everything, we did not say anything, if I'm not mistaken, the minutes would show itself whether we said anything about a comprehensive audit, and there wasn't a listen, I'm getting older and forgetting, like you said, you know what I'm saying? I'm older, so I might be forgetting. Okay? Mr. Bennett, does Mr. Bennett have staff that he can send in to aid us when he's not available to come? Will he be coming here days to help finance, reconcile these accounts that we're in error on? You know, I'm not looking for, if he wanna do an audit later on, help himself. But right now, our goal is to get 2025 straight, that one straight, and then we can proceed. I thought he was gonna sort of spearhead the 2026 so we won't be in error. So if I'm wrong, you tell me where I'm wrong. I mean, I just, maybe I'm perceiving what you all didn't perceive.
Mr. Mayor?
Go, yes.
All right, Mr. Bennett was hired to do a comprehensive audit. Okay, that takes in everything. He's
I
going to
still don't see
reconcile-
that.
Wait a minute, he's going to reconcile the pool cash. And if I understand correctly, that's where we're having issues with, because I understand there's been several people to try to do it, and he's gonna do this by virtual methods. This is 2026, we can work virtually. I had a ton of people that were, worked with me in the state that worked virtual from their house, sitting in the lounge chair, doing the budgets for the state, okay? He's going to be able to do this and put it in his system instead of coming here and have to go paper by paper. All this is just give him viewer status. He doesn't touch the money, he doesn't move money, he doesn't write checks. He just looks at the money on his computer and he moves everything around, okay, that needs to be moved. All right, I'm trying to put it down simple, all right? Right now, looking at it, we're anywhere from $4 to $5 million, and we need to get back to zero, okay? We got to reconcile all this cash, find out where it's going, where it's at, and then put it in the places that it needs to go. He can do that sitting there. There's no need for him to ride an hour to here to do that. None whatsoever. We just give him access to view it on the bank statements, which is, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a mayor's planner. I don't know if we got anything,
Just those two.
planners and mayors, okay? Having this gentleman do this for us is going to help our financial department, okay? We have to get that ready, so then Malden and Jenkins can do the 2025, financial report. We're late on the 25 financial report right now. We were late on the 24. We're going to be late again if we don't get up and do something. This gentleman is very qualified to do this. He's doing it for Byron, Warner Robins, about 5 or 6 cities, that he's doing the same thing, sitting in his business in Fort Valley, doing the same thing.
One of the memo texts we got from you saying that he passed, president passed, as says, well, how far in the past do you want to go? Is it back to 2024 or the 1970? You know,
If he needs to go back to 1820 before the city was born, he should be able to go back and pull the paperwork to be able to look at everything to make sure our city is operating financially solid.
that's what the bank statements are for, to reconcile. Am I right or
You have to
wrong?
reconcile this stuff, ma'am. You have to pull it all out, and same thing you do at the house, you have to pull everything to know where your money's going. Right now, we don't. We got an idea of where everything's going, but we don't have the knowledge to get it. This gentleman, this company is going to get that for us and get financial department help, okay? He's going to help them with that. This happens all over the state now, because CPAs, and she can probably tell you, Ms. Sonia probably tell you, they're hard to find. And they're getting harder to find, sort of like training.
Okay, now Martin and Jenkins are our auditors. They do not have access to direct to the bank account. You as commissioner don't have direct, mayor don't have direct, I don't have direct. None of us have direct access. Why we get someone else down into the banking business itself? I'm
Okay,
not saying,
you're not-
let me finish. If he is to sign on, we got to approve it. We have to take it through a motion and vote on this. Am I right, Mr. Mayor? We have to make that decision that he can go into that bank account. Am I right, Mr. Lawyer?
Yes, ma'am, that's what the agenda item.
Oh, okay.
Some people would call this an entry-exit audit. That's been the term that's been used, a comprehensive entry-exit audit. That's more or less the way I look at it. We're 3 new board members. We're coming onto a board that we're in the, for lack of a better word, naked as to what's going on in some aspects. And I personally want to look, see, and have a person tell me this is what this is and this is what that is, so forth and so on, so I have a better understanding of what's going on as far as the city's finances. It's not, it's simple. Like I said, comprehensive is more of a generalized auditing, okay? Forensic is more specific and narrowing the focus of something, and it's more in line with what something from law enforcement would do, more or less. But comprehensive is a more generalized audit, and that's what he's doing. And he will, not only that, but he's going to be setting up the new system that we're looking for to help make sure that our books stay in order from here on out.
Is there anyone here who could tell me the difference between a forensic?
I just told you.
Well, that's your thought on it, but that's not what my beliefs are. Maybe I'm believing wrong.
All right, when Malden Jenkins does your audit.
Yes, sir.
Generally, and where auditors do with all cities and other institutions as well, they do a test. They come in and they look at your records and they pull certain transactions at random. And when you a forensic audit is they look at every transaction. That's essentially the difference. So you ask somebody to do a forensic audit, they come and look at everything, every check, every transaction that's done. So that's the real difference. It costs a lot more, obviously, because it takes a lot more time. I happened to, by coincidence, talk to Justin Dillon yesterday about another client that having more problems than you have. Anyway, he said, well, I said, I'll see you tomorrow. I said, I've got the flu. I may not come. That's what she's mentioning. And I said, well, Mr. Bennett used to work for them. It's their understanding that he's going to compile the documents and make the city ready to do the audit. An auditor can't really do an audit unless you are prepared. You marshal all the documents, put all the documents in order so that they can come and audit them. He thinks that's what he's going to do. I don't know. He said he's worked with them before. Matter of fact, he used to be an employee of Malden Jenkins, I believe. And so that's kind of your auditor's sense of it. He didn't ask me to say that. It just, matter of fact, it just happened that I was talking to him about another county.
Let me add something, Mr. Mayor, if you don't mind. I'm just reading, because what he just said is correct. I'm just reading the definition. A comprehensive financial audit is a routine, broad examination designed to provide an opinion on the accuracy of financial statements. While a forensic audit is targeted in-depth investigation used to uncover specific fraud, misconduct, or gather legal evidence in proceedings. Comprehensive audits are scheduled and preventative in nature, whereas forensic audits are reactive and triggered by suspicion. We're doing a comprehensive audit.
And it's possible that the forensic audit, some places is narrowed to, let's say, one department. Let's say the police department, that we don't know what they're doing, we need a forensic audit of the police department. Or public works, could be anybody, rather than the entire city, but that's up to y'all.
Two questions, then I'm gonna lead us home. Should not a board member make a motion for this gentleman to go into the account?
Yes, ma'am, that's what's on.
Should not the board receive a request for a comprehensive audit? It's not in the minutes anywhere that I know of, not the comprehensive. That's not that I can remember now that we did not say anything about a comprehensive audit during our meeting with Mr. Bennett. You see it in the minutes anywhere?
As I understand it, the audit is gonna be done by Malden Jenkins, just like it always is.
Yes, sir.
And this fella is going to assist the city in preparing the documents so that Malden Jenkins could.
For 2025, 26. Okay.
That's what their understanding is.
So,
Mr. Mayor, if I may, for fiscal year 2025, all the auditors are waiting on is reconciliation of the pool cash. Is that correct, Sonia? They have uploaded and sent everything else to Malden and Jenkins. Once pool cash has been reconciled, then they can come in. So that's the only thing that we're waiting on. And so if you all remember, they came and presented September, October sometime. And right after that, we just continue to work for fiscal year 2025. So as far as any type of audit prep work for 2025, that has all of, they've submitted, the finance department, they have already submitted all the documents. All we're waiting on is the pool cash. Now, Mr. Bennett said he could assist us with that. And so if that's something he can work with the finance department on, then once that's reconciled, the auditors can come in.
So,
I just want to speak about his proposal. In the last paragraph on the first page, it sits there and it says, audit readiness and financial reconciliation service that functions as your virtual controller and internal auditor, working directly with your staff to eliminate compliance gaps. All right, so in there, he was talking about being our virtual controller. That thing skipped all the way down. Now, in his first, on the second page, first one, core financial reconciliation. We approve this, and it says it gives him monthly reconciliation of high-risk general ledger accounts, cash, fixed assets, accounts receivable, and accounts payable. So in order to have access to all of that, ensuring the balances tied directly to source documentation, he's got to have access to those, the accounts receivable and accounts payable. And that's what we approved, so that's what I understood it to be comprehensive based upon those two items and it being financial. It doesn't specifically say pool cash.
It doesn't say comprehensive? It's a reconciliation of high-risk general
Can I
ledger.
ask a
I have no
question?
problem,
Can I ask a
I have no problem, just do it legally. If you're gonna let him go in there, just take it to a motion and vote on it, that's something I'm saying.
But the motion is pretty well.
That he can go directly into the bank itself.
That's the motion.
Okay,
To provide William Bennett view only access to the city of Cordele bank account. So, if y'all have some question whether he had access to that, whether you intend to do that, that's what you're voting on. Do you want to give him access to the bank? Yes.
that's what I'm saying.
That's all we're doing.
City attorney, man, I
Yeah,
stood here.
now go ahead, Roy,
I
sorry.
stood here for minutes, and the way this thing normally goes, if somebody's on the agenda to speak on an agenda item, that person is heard. You have been totally disrespectful. Totally,
I was getting to you.
totally. And y'all have answered some of the questions. One of my questions was, what type of work is Mr. Bennett doing for the city? I'm still uncertain from the argument that you have here. So what is he doing for the city? Another question I have is, why does Mr. Bennett need access to city bank accounts when he has the bank statements? Why do he need access to the accounts? If he has the bank statements, why does he need? Who else do banking here? Anybody else doing the banking here? So if you got your bank statements, why do you need access to the account? I have a problem. I have a problem with that. I didn't interrupt you guys. And with Mr. Bennett working virtually, is there a secure transmitter? Do we have? Is it secure for us to be transmitting our this money from here to wherever he is? We have a secure line. I mean, make it make sense to me. Make it make sense.
I understand this motion does give him access to do transactions.
Yeah, but I can't read. I read the motion. My question is again, why does he need access to the city bank accounts when he's already being provided the statements?
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
Electronic transfers of bank statements are a lot easier to work with than sitting there with a piece of paper. I'm sure a CPA has programs that he can load them into, and it'll go there and decipher now. Again, you know, this is electronic age, and we're doing everything electronically, predominantly. Cordele isn't, but Everywhere else is pretty much electronic. So if he has to take a piece of paper, like this paper right here, you have to go through it. Electronic can scan it.
Mr. George, I understand the difference between
Okay.
electronic and paper. Don't talk to me like I'm, please don't do that. It's
I'm done.
you didn't answer the question. You gave me what you wanted to give me, but neither here nor there. We paying somebody X amount of dollars to do work here in the city of Cordele, Georgia, that we already have people in place to do. All right? That's an issue that I have. And I'm going to leave this alone, but I have somewhere else to be. I want to speak on this added, if I may, since I was not allowed to speak properly, on number 7. First of all, rest in peace, Jesse Jackson. I want to ask that the city lower the flag, half staff, for Reverend Jesse Jackson. With that out of the way, I'm going to speak on the city manager. And I know y'all going to go in and you're going to do the thing about, you're going to discuss her contract. From the time this woman got here, from the time she got here, she was boots on the ground. From the time she's been here. She had worked late hours, way past 5 o'clock. I rolled past this sometime 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. She was here. She has not befriended no commissioner, no department head. I'm the only somebody here that can work with 3 city managers. And that's what I recognized about her first. She was treated everybody fairly. This city manager is the first city manager that I work with that operates based on what is in writing. That hearsay call, hey, do this, do that. Hey, is it in the charter? That's what I get from her. Was a motion made? That's what I get from this city manager. She's collected more city taxes in her time here than any other city manager. Any other city manager. I hear where some people are not happy. Tell me what job? What job? To where everybody's happy with their boss. I would like to work there. In the beginning of the year, I sat and I watched this meeting. And y'all know I've been one of those people to try to bridge the gap between the race. That's why I voted for you, JoJo. That's why I voted for you. Because I felt that y'all would do the same. And I take full responsibility for this commission sitting here, from the support that I gave JoJo, Singletary. I take full responsibility. Blame me. But it's a sad day when we discussed them, the first African American to serve as city manager here in Black History Month. It's a sad day. I wish those girls would have stayed here. All those young African American girls would have stayed here. Because it's a proud moment in the city of Cordele, Georgia, when you can see an African American woman sitting there as city manager. I watch y'all in 6 weeks come here and try to micromanage this lady's job. In 6 weeks. Chief, where you at, Chief? Chief, I sympathize with you, Chief. Because when there's discussion of the sheriff department running this police department from this body, it shows that, hey, we don't have confidence in the people that we got working for us. It simply says that.
Mr. Mayor, I call for time.
It simply says that. But when you go back the other day to have this discussion on the city manager contract, when you go back there, yeah, you want to shut the truth down, but it's okay. When you go back there to discuss this contract for the city manager, it'll be a sad day in Cordele, Georgia, if we don't keep this lady as city manager. You gave four white guys contracts at the beginning of the year with no stipulations. There were 5 contracts to be given out, 4 white guys and 1 of an African American woman, but you gave her stipulations. And you talking about bridging the gap between whites and blacks in this community? Don't talk about it, be about it. And that's my time. And black people voted for you guys. Remember that.
Okay, go back to our discussion of Bennett Tax Services proposal. There was a motion on the table to approve it.
It was a motion to discuss.
Discuss it.
Motion,
I make a motion to approve giving Mr. Bennett full viewer access to all Cordele records and all the records that he needs to access to do his comprehensive audit.
I second.
Okay. There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
You ready for your
Okay.
vote?
All those opposed?
Aye.
All right, how you gonna vote?
Ain't nothing wrong with him looking at it.
Okay, so that's a yay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, 3 yeas, motion approved. Okay. All right, agenda item number 8, discussion of public works maintenance schedule. Is there a motion for a discussion?
So moved.
All right, there's a motion, is there a second? Second. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries for discussion of public works maintenance schedule. Kobe,
Okay. You right.
you wanna start with what we need for the maintenance schedule?
Okay, are you specifically talking about alleys or streets or both?
All the above.
Okay.
Well, there it is over there. All right, Eric. Eric, you wanna come up too? That way y'all can both work off each other.
I would say good morning, commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Freshman commissioners, welcome. Congratulations, Mr. Mayor and Ms. Duster. It's always great to see you.
Thank you.
I printed off some information because when we talk about equipment, it's important for everyone to be able to, I got one for you guys. It's important for everyone to actually be able to look at what we're talking about and know. I think what you do is ready. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I want to start with Eric because I may be here a while.
It don't matter.
Let you go ahead.
It was cemetery and parks, what we was discussing about the alleys and the ditches. This is what my solution was. Like for week 1, we'll start in Ward 1. We'll do that for a whole week, and then we'll move to Ward 2 and start. Well, Ward 1 we'll start in Maple and a Half Alley to 5th and a Half Alley, from 12th Street to 7th Street. They're gonna be for week 1. Week 2, we'll do Ward 2 from 16th and a Half Alley to 23rd and a Half Alley, from Joe Wright Drive to 7th Street. Okay, that's including with the ditches and cutting like the alleys. And then we'll go on down from week 3, week 4. It'll be 10 weeks in all. Once we get that maintained, we'll be doing that every week. But we're gonna need some manpower, some more men, at least like 5 more guys.
All women.
Well, and vehicle wise, we're gonna need another pickup. And the price of the pickup was $57,595, and with the city discount, been $55,595, and like the trailer was $7,499. So basically, that's what we'll need to maintain the alleys and the ditches. The equipment, we have all the equipment, we just really need the manpower. And we had started with the ditches. We started from Oakland and a half alley. We made all the way down to 8th Avenue and a half alley. But after the truck broke down, we couldn't do it. And basically, with my crew, we'll do it in the wintertime. Summertime, we cut grass and stuff. Wintertime, we take care of alleys because no grass is growing. So that's the way we will operate.
How many people in your division?
I got 5, with me make 6.
Eric, why wouldn't we work it by quad? Because I've looked at it, it's a good schedule, it's a good schedule, don't get me wrong. But just asking, your odds of missing one, bouncing around is higher. So why wouldn't we just take it, work it, let's say 7th and 16th, northwest, do that whole section. Then move down and come down to the next section and use the 16th and 7th. That way we can ensure that those alleys are kept up, and then somebody could run back and see what needs to be touched up after. You could run back, I guess, and touch it if somebody goes in and does it. I mean, I'm asking, to me, it just seems like it would be.
But Alex is one of the floor, so he needs to start it on.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about doing all of it, do all of it, from 7th, 16th, that whole corner, okay? Now, we know we got that done. It's dropped down to Ward 2. Because I was in Ward 1 up there over the weekend, and Rashad, I can't remember his last name, the gentleman piled up a bunch of stuff over there, and they trashed dump 13 and a half alley. He's got, I don't know, 50, 60 tires, whatever. It's a mess.
He's been cleaning up his neighborhood for years. I know you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, good fellow. Why couldn't we
I think
start
eleven
that
comes.
section and do it, then drop down to Ward 2 and do it, and come on around, because 4, I don't think 4 and 3 have as many alleys as the rest of the city. So, we them are the major areas with alleys. And that way, we get it cleaned up, we can put the lights down there and everything else.
Let me add one little thing too. The majority of the alley work just appears to me, I'm a novice at it, but it would be done more in the wintry months, because summertime, you got a lot of grass to be cut.
Right.
Yeah, so it's gonna grow a lot faster, so I would think, you'd be, majority of it, there's stuff that needs to be done right now, but I'm just saying that you would do the majority of the alley work during November, December, January, February, first of
Once the
March.
grass slow down,
Right.
we start in alley.
Right, yeah, that's what I was just, my brain.
My question is gonna be, is there personnel that can be, I mean, we're a few short in public works already, and we got a budgeted amount, so for personnel, are these in addition to our budgeted amount, or are they filling the positions we're already budgeted for?
It's not gonna be
In addition to?
addition.
Can people come from other departments to help? Can we create a department specifically for this that could come from other departments to help.
Yes, it could be like that, also, yeah.
Well, where you gonna put them from, which department?
Well, that's why I'm asking these questions, if we can merge, because, I mean, we might could buy the equipment through some SPOS funds or T-SPOS funds and everything, but the personnel is an issue, So the equipment purchases, could our personnel handle it with this new equipment and it just take a little longer?
Well, yeah, but just like I was saying, if
Like we was talking one time before about that side mower. The only problem with the side mower, you got wires. You lift it up, and the bushes covering, you hit that wire, you're gonna have to pay for the wire. See, with a bucket truck, you up there in the air, and you got your trims and stuff, you can see. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got you. I mean, I understand. Okay. Commissioners, you got any other questions? All right. Cody?
Okay, I'll go ahead and start with the equipment needed to do, and that's what the information that I gave you, that first page. What I'm thinking about, instead of an actual motor grader, which a motor grader, a current price to replace a comparable motor grader to the size we have now is $219,819. You see the picture, the first picture there. That is a skid steer with tracks. The second page is the grader attachment, and then of course you got pictures of the graders, the grader attachment on the skid steer. That is what this picture right here is what I'm talking about. Something similar to this, which would be take the place of the actual motor grader, because it's smaller, it's less expensive, and not only is it more cost effective doing greater work, but you have multiple attachments. You can get a broom attachment. You can get it comes with a bucket. You can get an asphalt milling machine. You can get a blower. You can get mowers. You can get, in for the future. The very back page is what the broom looks like attached to that skid steer, which broom is something too, as a piece of equipment that we will need in order to get these streets in shape. And I wrote the price here. It's $10,470 is what that broom attachment would cost if we decided to go that route. $10,470 is what I was quoted on the broom attachment for the skid steer. They also make a broom attachment for our backhoe if we decided to use that, and an hydraulic angled broom, which is the next to the last page, is $15,655. And I apologize, I did not write that price down on each one of y'all's pages. I just got that information this morning when I got to work. He sent it. That quote was sent to me last night. But back to the skid steer with the grader attachment, is small enough to where it can handle the alley work. The difference in it and the motor grader, obviously $100,000 cheaper, plus it's a multiple use piece of equipment. Plus, the front wheels won't be out there on the center line of the street by the time you can see if anything's coming when you get to the end of an alley. It's shorter, it's easier to maneuver, and I'm talking about one with a cab because it's very, very dusty in the seat, working alleys and that type. So, what I'm talking about as far as alley maintenance, this obviously would take care of the alley itself, cutting out potholes, spreading, leveling, that sort of thing. Also, I'm talking about using the bucket truck and chainsaws to get in there to trim back. These alleys are 20 feet wide. And what we have to go by is, well, all the maps will show you they're 20 foot wide. But we go by the line of Chris Power poles, and then we measure out 19 feet because they put their poles 1 foot on city right away to keep them off of private property. So that's how we go back, and that's why you see the white cleanout pipes from the sewer department. You'll see them on the edge. They try to put them right there on the line where they're out of the alley, right there off of private property. We have a lot of situations to where people have put fences, they have put buildings and so forth on the alley. There are some that are 3 and 4 feet on the alley, which getting that taken care of is going to be a commission issue, or city attorney issue, whatever. That's basically what we're talking about doing in alleys. Also, trash. A lot of trash in alleys. And matter of fact, all last week we worked in different alleys. We started on, I think, Oakland and a half, and are working our way south. And this is going to be over around, it's between Blackshear Road and 5th Street. They've been working in that area, working south. And what they've had to do is they've had to go in there and clean up the alley before they can ever cut it back, because there's trash everywhere. So I just told them, I said, y'all go in there. You can't work around it. It's like sweeping around a parked car. The trash is still there. Even though the rest of the street is clean, you still got that. And this is the same thing working around trash. So they've been going in there and cleaning up. Then we get in there and we're trying to cut out potholes. Because I've instructed my guys, filling in pothole can be good. Cutting out a pothole and doing away with it's even better. Because you fill in a pothole, you still got a pothole, it's just full of dirt. Eventually it's going to beat out and the pothole's still there. You cut it out, do away with it, properly backfill it, no more pothole. And so that's what we're trying to do in these alleys. All right, I'm going to jump on to streets. If you look at this big green monstrosity right here, we have that. Not this machine in the picture, but an identical one. This is the leaf vac. And in a perfect world, you would have one mounted on the truck with a joystick where you can just drive along and you can just suck up all the leaves ahead of the sweeper. But we don't have that luxury. This one we pull with a repurposed sweeper. It's one of the sweepers that we discontinued. We took the bed off of it. We took the tank off of it. Put a platform on the back to where we can store shovels and whatnot. That's what we pull it with. It does require CDL because of the weight. If you will look at the next picture, I think it's the next one. Yeah, that's a belly sweeper, the little three-wheel thing right there. They range anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000 depending on what options. The one I'm looking at's got a cab on it because it's a dirty, nasty. You're sweeping, you're stirring up dust. What I'm talking about using with this is a head of the sweeper. And this would be, hopefully, one day in part of a right-of-way crew. That's all they do. We go ahead, we sweep. We got stuff that's 2 foot high, bulked in gutters. Everybody's seen it. You take that sweeping machine, you sweep it down to the corner, and the leaf vac comes along and sucks it up. Gets the bulk stuff out of the way of the sweepers. Now, the street sweeper that we currently have, it's a vacuum sweeper. We have done 2 different routes with the sweeper to see what works best. What he's on now is different from what we have done in the past. What we've done in the past is my assistant, T.C. Holloway, came up with a book, a spiral book that had every street and avenue that had curb and gutter or just gutter. We gave him the book, gave our operator the book, and said, start at the beginning, sweep every street, don't leave anything out. It takes him 3 to 3.5 months to get over the city. That's because of the condition of the streets, because of the condition of the sweeper. He did this with the old sweeper and right after we got the new one. Having the new sweeper when it was new, it increased, or let me say, it shortened the time that it took him to get over the city, but not by a large enough margin that you could really tell a difference. So I'm just trying to look at this through the lens of common sense. If it takes one sweeper 3 months, it'll take 2 sweepers a month and a half. Will it? I don't know. Possibly. I mean, that's logically, theoretically, yes. However, by going ahead of that sweeper or those sweepers, getting the bulk out and from in front of it, that'll speed up the travel time when you're sweeping. So I don't see any reason if we do this why we can't have every gutter swept within a month. And that, I think, is the goal, is to get it done in the shortest time possible. Without this equipment, I really honestly don't see it getting done in that time frame. So as far as personnel goes, we've got 2 positions that we have not replaced. And the reason that I didn't replace them, I talked to Melinda one day and told her, I said, I'm going to hold off on replacing those until we get the equipment. Because if you hire the people and don't have the equipment, you're wasting money. If you get the equipment and you don't have the people, you're just wasting money. So I need to get the equipment and then hire those 2 positions. And with those 2 that we already have on the book, if we replace those, possibly one more employee to go somewhere. And I wish I could tell you exactly where these employees will go. I don't know who's going to be on what piece of equipment, because it's going to be a trial and error thing. Because a lot of this is creating a right-of-way crew. I mean, you're creating something that you're just going to have to, we'll put this one in here and try it. Well, if it doesn't work, we'll put somebody else in there and try it until we find that right cohesive combination of people that, can get it done. This right-of-way crew I'm talking about with the sweeper and the leaf vac would be primarily during the leaf season, which is about 6 months out of the year. As y'all know, when leaves start falling, I don't know where they come from. It's like they just magically appear and there they are. You sweep one day and they're back the next day. When the leaves have fallen and leaf season is over with, what I'm talking about doing is taking the 2 people that we have on the mechanical broom and the leaf vac and putting them, when they can, when it's available, the bucket truck, chainsaws, and they need to be trimming in front of stop signs, in front of intersections, because y'all know as well as I do, there are a lot of street signs that are blocked by low-hanging limbs, and that's what they would do in that time. So there'd be no downtime for them. And they would just take a day and trim. Next morning, they would take the bucket truck, come along and pick up the piles that they've cut. And so, I mean, that's where I am, and that's what thought I had put into this. And I'm trying to think, it seemed like there was something else. The sweeper. We hadn't talked. Go ahead.
Have we thought about, and I told her correctly, temporary hiring temps to get us through this hump? I mean,
Right now, it's just in a proposal state, but.
yeah. I'm throwing that out. Have you thought about temps? There's no cafeteria. Using temp workers, maybe?
I have never thought about that.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing that out so we'll all think about it.
Well, that's what I was saying about there's no sense in us hiring, in my department, no sense in us hiring any more or replacing any people until we have the equipment for them to, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I want to make sure that I got the job for them before I hire them. Because we got enough people to twiddle their thumbs. I don't want to hire anybody else just to sit around and not do anything. We don't have, honestly, quite frankly, we don't have the money to do that. But going back to the sweeper, I didn't mention that. The sweeper, I sent Ms. Redding the cost of the sweeper, and if I'm not mistaken, they range from $324,000 up to $424,000. And the sweepers that I've looked at, now to replace what we've got with what we've got now would be the $424,000 sweeper. It's a more expensive. What I'm looking at is a regenerative air sweeper, and it's a lighter machine. I think it'll do a faster job of sweeping if we have the sweeper and the leaf vac to go ahead of it. The travel time should be twice, if not three times as fast. That's the type of sweeper they use to sweep airport runways. And they sweep anywhere from 15 to 30 miles an hour. Not saying that they'll be able to sweep our streets at 30 miles an hour because they hit a bump or throw them out of the seat and that sort of thing. I mean, they'd still have to take the time, but be a lot faster than what we've got. Plus, that regenerative air sweeper is, I won't say it's 26,000 gross vehicle weight, which is just under the threshold for having to have CDLs to operate it. So that sweeper would give us a lot more options on operators because as of right now, the vacuum sweeper that we have, you got to have a CDL Class B minimum to operate that sweeper legally, unless there's some type of HR might can help us on this. I don't know if there is, but if there's any kind of permit or anything, it's probably not, is it? Okay. Okay. Well, so if we go with the more expensive sweeper, got to have CDL. If we go with the lesser expensive sweeper, then Class C driver's license will get it. And that's all the information I have, unless y'all have questions.
I have some questions.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, go ahead.
Is there a Yancey Caterpillar anywhere near the Latimore, Illinois?
Yes, ma'am, that's in Albany.
One in Albany?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
That's who we bought our most recent backhoe from, is Yancey. And that was out of Albany.
Okay.
Commissioners, anybody else got any?
One other question I have, not pertaining to your sweepers, but what can we do about the grass growing up in the street since they're sweeping? Several streets got grass growing up in the street, so what can we do about that before you sweep it?
That's something, for grass growing, you're talking about actually in the street.
Not on the edge.
Not on the edge, but up to the crevice. Everybody see the
Something, that's gonna be a hand operation where you're gonna have to take a sprayer, and I don't know what mixture, if you use Primatol or what you would use, and you would have to go spray every crack.
Downtown for you.
Right, you would have to do every crack that, have you noticed on how DOT does, they've been doing it on 90 highway, the cracks in 90 to where they filled, you got the little black squiggly lines where they fill those cracks. Some similar to that, but you don't use tar, you use chemical, so.
Yeah. Yes, he do weed eat the cracks and spray and everything, but you constantly keep doing it. But once it rains, it comes back out the dirty stuff, rolls back in the cracks and stuff. But we basically try to do our best at it.
What are y'all spraying here?
Roundup.
Roundup?
Any other questions? Okay. I just want to ask,
It seems like we're very reactive with this equipment and not being proactive. Was there any plans on buying this type of equipment or plans to buy this type of equipment? Because I don't think this maintenance schedule is anything out of the normal maintenance that should be done for the citizens of Cordele.
Right.
I mean, was it planned in T-Splosh? Was it planned in Splosh? Or why wasn't it planned in Splosh? I'm just trying to figure this out. How we could need this much equipment and be this reactive to regular maintenance needs.
Well, what has changed is the time frame. I mean, we can continue to do what we've been doing with what we've got, and the streets are going to continue to be overrun with debris. If you want it swept in a timely manner, we have to have the equipment to do it. I've been talking about a second sweeper ever since Edward Beach was here. But, matter of fact, I mentioned it to Edward, and he looked at me like I had two heads. I believe I put in the last budget that I did, I put in there a belly sweeper. Never heard anything about it. You know, I mean, I realize you don't get anything if you don't ask for it, but you don't, it's the way it's been is you don't get anything even if you do ask for it. So, you know, I'm not trying to be smart or anything, but
No, I get it. That's why I'm asking.
and I will say this, it is absolutely impossible to do more with less. It cannot be done. You can't take less people and less equipment and get more done. You know, you don't buy a sports car and complain about the insurance. I mean, if you own a city, you got to pay to maintain it. And I'm not preaching or fussing. I'm just, that's what we've been up against for so long, and it's just.
And that's why we gotta react to it and try to catch us up.
Mayor Rainer, I would just like to add, when we began preparation for the 2024 SPLOST, each department was asked to submit their priority projects. Well, first they all just, submitted equipment needs for their department. Then we had to go back and eliminate some of those just based on the amount that the city was allocated. And so each department was responsible for submitting the needs for their department as well as prioritizing those items. So what we have in Public Works is what came from Steve. And from my understanding, he met with the superintendents and asked them what was needed. I don't know if that's true, but the items that we have in SPLOST are the items that were sent directly from Steve.
Which are the two backhoes?
Well, I don't remember all the items because it's separated by gas, street, cemetery, and parks. But I do remember backhoes being on there, but nothing about a second street sweeper, anything like that. And
because we were asked to prioritize, that's what we put in there. We needed two backhoes. So I mean, you're looking at $360,000 roughly. Yeah. I mean, we cannot work without a backhoe. We have to have a backhoe and a dump truck for just about 95% of the jobs that we do. And there was 6 weeks to where we were without a backhoe. We've got two. One of them, you drive down the road, it dart out in front of somebody. So it only stands to reason you make a safe choice. Park it, don't drive it. The other one, it just kept going down until finally it got to the point where it was in the shop, as a matter of fact. It stayed in the shop for about 6 weeks. That was the 6 weeks that we were without a backhoe. So, yeah, we put in on that SPLOST what we needed, which was a lot more than two backhoes. But we asked to prioritize. That's what we needed the most, that and service truck, I think it was. But, yeah, we asked.
So,
once it leaves me, I can't do anything to do it.
So options on being able to get them what they need.
We have a master lease with GMA, and then with T-SPLOST, depending on if it's transportation related, we can purchase some items from T-SPLOST. But again, we use T-SPLOST for the 10% match for LMIG, as well as we have Joe Wright Drive program, but it is a 6-year T-SPLOST.
So a street sweeper, which is transportation clearing the way up the street, it could possibly be T-SPLOST money.
Okay.
What about this here? Skid steer right here that's cleaning out. That's a street. I mean, it's an alley,
but the alleys are part of the road system that was submitted to GDOT. So I can, double check and make sure it can be transportation related, because again, those are considered roadways for the street.
We do get LMIG money for alleys too.
Okay. Could you let us know what will qualify for the T-SPLOST? I think we need to know that before we can make any decision.
And I feel like this would be something that I was talking about with the additional sweeper And the broom is something that if we replace the two employees that are in the current, they're on the books now. If we replace him even without hiring anybody else, I feel like that's a good start. I think, and then, like I say, you shuffle people around and find out we may have the best sweeper operator in the country, and we just don't know it because we haven't tried it yet. That's give everybody a chance to see, where they excel.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Cody.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay. Agenda item number 9, discussion of water and gas reconnection fees. Is there a motion?
I make a motion that we, change the current, reconnect fees.
I mean, discussion?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor for discussion on water and gas reconnection fees?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Open for discussion.
Current fees for water reconnects where people go out at, we have personnel that, cost us way more than that per hour, and they go out at, 11 o'clock at night to reconnect somebody's water, and after hours is not the, we're way out of line on that. That's too low. I don't like to put anybody at a burden, but $15 to go out and reconnect the fee on Saturday evening at 9 o'clock at night because you couldn't or didn't figure out a way to pay your water bill, that don't help the city. Wait a minute, yes, ma'am.
Correction, unless someone is doing something they're not supposed to. The previous commission set the fee, the hour at 7 p.m. So they're not supposed to go out after 7 p.m.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it's 7 p.m.
All right, if they're going out after hour either way you look at it, I mean, it costs the city overtime to send them out, and you gotta reconnect it, and it's making $20 an hour, and he has to go out, it's $30 an hour for him to go out and reconnect it, and we charge you $15. So I think that fee ought to be $40.
Okay. You got any?
Did you touch on, I'll clarify if you don't mind, just a little bit. I think it should be 8 to 4:40, after hours, after 4 p.m., 75. And then, that's after hours, it's gotta be called in by 3:30. Okay? Now, the reason I'm saying that because you have to pay them overtime. You have to go out there, so. Was it 25 to 45 pages of cutoffs? 10 per page, it's 250. That's a lot. It's a lot.
We gotta realize where we live in now. This is Cordele, Georgia. This is a poverty-stricken area, and they can't afford all this extra run fees now. We need to think about this twice. I mean, the reason the Park Commission set these rates is because we had so many poverty-stricken areas around here, and people don't make that kind of money. We got a lot of people living on from day to day, and it'll be hardship on a lot of people. I don't agree about moving it up, no sir.
No, I don't agree with that either.
Look at the average income in Cordele. They're struggling just to pay the rent. Well, listen, a water bill.
Yeah.
The people are struggling in this county. And I don't think it would be fair to the citizens. And we just voted in the last commission to moderate these rates so they can't afford to stay where they are. I mean, we set rules that you can't go back after 7 and cut it back on, just let them roll on unless there's an emergency. Like, I had one lady who had a child on a breathing machine who had to have water to go in the machine or something. Yes. But as far as just raising the rates, no, sir, I don't agree with that.
Surrounding cities are a lot more than that.
Sir?
Surrounding cities to include Vine.
And the income is better than surrounding cities too.
I beg to differ, Vine.
All y'all do is check the BV, and I saw income.
Please don't.
I take that direction from the mayor. And if the mayor wants me to be quiet, I'll be quiet.
Yeah, hold on.
I will.
Okay, hold on.
Now, I mean, $40 is fair. To me. We can't allow all the other citizens to have to pay for them to forget to reconnect, okay? A lot of people can't, I understand that, and there's always ways to work around that. I think there are things down in policy to work around.
Maybe we need to do like the
I
power
had to
company, go to automation, cutting it off and on. You know,
That's, hey, listen, I'm all good. If you think for 1 second I wanna raise up Mrs. Jones or whatever's, water bill, I ain't looking to do that at all. That's the furthest thing from my thought process. What I am gonna say is that the city needs X amount of dollars to operate. We ain't there, okay? There are places where you can get money, and one of them is that way. And I agree with you 100%. If we can go to automation and it ain't gonna cost the city a ton of money, JoJo's all for it. You know, I wanna make it
100%
easy.
behind automation.
Huh?
I'm 100% behind that.
Absolutely. I'd be glad to do it that way. That makes it even easier. And then you can leave the fee the same. But when you have to send a man out there to do the job, and he has to be paid overtime to go do it, that's where it comes in at. That's
on
the
average,
whole
how
thing.
many cutoffs do we have a month? Anybody know?
How long was that wall over there?
500,
Huh?
roughly 500 on the list.
Cut off? Oh, wow.
And
That-
they're
No,
talking about
it is a
Benny's-
problem. It's not
Benny's
something we
asking to
just
hire another
arbitrarily
person.
came up with, you know.
Can I say something?
Yes.
You all, I wanna make sure you have the fees right. The $15 is a disconnect fee. You really don't even have a reconnect fee. They just go back out there and cut it on. So you going out there cutting it off, going back out there and cutting it off, cutting it back on for $15.
So that's two trips?
Yeah, we don't have a
Okay.
reconnect, not for water,
Huh?
not for water, we don't have a reconnect fee.
So,
Just a-
but you're making two trips?
Yes.
Okay, so essentially what you did is just made my argument for me. It's double what I just said to begin with, okay? And again, I'm not about, going out there and messing up Miss Jones or Miss Smith or whatever the name is water. That's not my intention whatsoever. If automation's the answer, and I'm all for moving forward to it, no problem. I ain't got a problem with that in the
Maybe
world.
disconnect and reconnect.
Yeah, but as far as we sending a man hour out there to go disconnect it, and then we gotta turn around, they get back to the office, as soon as they get back to the office, all of a sudden somebody's gonna come up here and pay it. Now they gotta turn around and go back. I mean, come on, people, come on. It's
And
ridiculous.
automation is something that we have asked the Public Works Department to get us information on.
And I ain't got a problem, let's putting it off until we find out. That's not, again, I'm not, like I say, I ain't after, to cause any pain and suffering. That's not what we're here for. We'd like to know what it would be. Find out, let's find out. But at some point in time, that discussion has to be made, okay? It has to be brought forward. You can't just sit there and say, well, we'll talk about that next year, or whatever. Here we are.
I have another question this time, if I may. The waterworks, the city, we approved for them to have like 3 delinquent or 2 delinquents before
3
we-
extensions.
3 extensions. Are the people asking for these extensions?
They are,
Huh?
they are.
Okay. So to those who don't know, we do offer extensions at least 3 times in a calendar year. So instead of letting your water be cut off, ask for an extension to those who letting the water be cut off now, and that could eliminate some of the problem.
This is water and gas. If you all are talking about water and gas on the same bill, is it water and gas?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Talking about water and gas.
Water and gas, so they're the one
Oh.
bill, and
Yes.
you get 3 extensions.
I understand you saying cut off, the water, but in this day and time, in the way we are having, we don't have, in other words, we don't have enough businesses here in order to pay that high light bill, gas bill, or whatever. So, I'm trying to figure out, if you go out there and cut the water off, you're cutting off the gas too. So, it's good to have the extension with Mr. Secretary talking about $75 to reconnect, is that what you said? $10.
I suggested.
Man,
That's,
that's somebody's paycheck.
that's in line with other cities. This is only a
But
proposal.
Cordele is not other cities. We don't have that here in Cordele. These paying jobs are not 15 up to 20-something dollars. We don't have the businesses here. This is for predominantly black community, poor in the state of Georgia.
Yeah, it's one of the poorest. It is one of the poorest. Yeah.
It's one of the top.
You know.
I agree with that, but this is only a discussion here to talk about it, to talk
Okay.
about
That's
all
right,
of
it's
it.
just discussion.
But you're looking, what we're addressing is the 500 people that use it. Out of those, how many of those really just use it? Oh, I forgot to pay my water bill. Okay, so that's where a lot of that comes into, where people, I've done it, I've had to pay it. I forgot to pay it. If it was 40, I probably remember.
Developers have not been a whole lot of development here in Cordele, Georgia. And I'm hearing you talk about other cities. And there's a tapping fee that we have here in Cordele, Georgia, of close to $5,000. That's a tapping fee. When are you guys gonna work to get that tapping fee in alliance with other cities in Georgia?
You mean as in bringing it down?
Please, sir.
Yes, I'm in
Please, sir,
agreement
let's have a
with that.
discussion about that.
I'm in agreement with
And so
that.
that people, when you talk about spending $5,000 before I even break ground, it would turn me to go somewhere else too.
I'm in
You got
agreement
people
with that.
looking for places in other cities because of the tapping fee.
I think it's too high.
It's extremely too high.
Yeah.
Let's,
Is this a work session?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yes.
I think you need to control the meeting.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, is there anything else on the connection fees?
No.
Okay, nothing else, okay. Discussion on regulating liquor stores. Is there a motion for the discussion on regulating liquor stores?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion to the discussion regulating liquor stores, all in favor?
Ah,
Okay, open for discussion.
I'll add this, and say this. In the state of Georgia, the average number of liquor stores per city, by population, is about 1 to 8,000 citizens. In Cordele, it's about 1 to about 1,850 citizens. Okay? Now, what does that lead to? Two things. One, that means we're a small town with 10,000 people and we got more liquor stores than anybody else. And the other one is that when you have a lot of liquor stores, you have a lot of, the competition gets even tougher. And so that tends to lead some of them to sell to minors. Okay? So other cities around us have a moratorium on liquor stores, and we're just stopping the growth of the number of liquor stores, say, at 6, where we currently are, rather than allowing any more to come in. They won't be until a license is surrendered, and that number of population reaches 15,000 people. Then you're beginning, even then, you're just beginning to come into line with what the rest of the state is. Cordele, Georgia has, as far as I know, I haven't seen anybody else, more liquor stores per capita for people than any other place in Georgia. And I drink liquor, so it ain't got nothing to do with that. Bourbon, nice bourbon. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is not, Mr. Mayor, this is not going to be closing any current
Right.
liquor stores. No, we're not closing them, we just say we're not gonna add any. That's all that is, until somewhere in 50 years, a couple of them close or whatever, But this is not closing, we're just saying we're not gonna add any more liquor.
But they can still build up their liquor store, sell it to somebody else, and/or leave it to their child, or whatever the case may be. It's not changing any of that. We're not changing the number of liquor stores until the population changes. That's all we're doing. Just put a moratorium on the total number.
I don't know who put this agenda together, but when I read regulating liquor stores, there's a difference between regulating liquor stores.
No,
But
yeah.
this is the question.
It's not open for discussion.
You talk about putting memorials on liquor stores. I mean, you don't want any more liquor stores. There's a difference between memorials, than doing that and regulating. So you tell, how many, my
Roy.
question is, how many black-owned liquor stores do we have? So if I came up and wanna open up a liquor store after you do this, I couldn't get one.
This is a meeting.
Is there any other discussion on regulating liquor stores?
I say that we move and, let,
City attorney.
thank you.
Yeah, the way you would do this, done it other places, you have, one liquor store per so many thousand people. And then, that moratoriums are problematic unless you have something or other side about the regulation. So why don't you just go and say, one liquor store per X number of people, and you'll have to figure out what that is. I'll bring something back.
Okay.
That's a tax-based business, why not let them come? It don't increase your taxes or revenue to liquor stores?
They do produce revenue. It's a high, volume business.
Regardless, I remember when we had to go to Shanghai, the liquor house, we didn't even go to liquor store, so, you know. And we had a good time on Sunday, going and drinking with the guys, you know what I'm saying? So what you gonna start by having to look out, you know, come out my house and get your bottle, you know? What's trying to set the front, I mean.
Mayor, we're just talking about distilled spirits sold by the package. Is that all we're talking about?
Right, could you bring some information back to us?
Okay.
Okay, all right, if there's nothing else, I'm gonna go to agenda item, that was added on Darren Felton's, construction, on his building, permits, and is there a motion for discussion on Darren Felton's?
So moved.
16th Avenue project? Okay, I have a motion, is there a second?
A second.
Okay, motion and a second, all in favor for discussion? All right, open for discussion.
Mr. Mayor, I've met with Mr. Felton, and he's been trying to, attempt to get this property built since 22. He's run into a lot of hiccups. I'm glad to see Ms. Darby here. Maybe she can enlighten us on the, process and how much time, what's holding them up, so we'll done. If you don't mind.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, sorry. Mary Darby, the Director of Planning and Community Development. That particular project, I don't have the file folder here with me, but with that particular project, 515 West 16th Avenue, it was approved in 2022 for his building permit. And there is a clause that if you don't move forward after 6 months, you have to apply for a new building permit. So that's where it first started. But the project is also located in the Gillespie Selden Historic District. The original plans that came through, he was proposing to demolish the building that's located at the corner of that particular site. But the plans that came back through, he stated that he did not want to demolish the building. At that time, we did not analyze the building in terms of the line of sight of the triangle. It would have been at the corner of the lot. And so that became an issue regarding whether or not the building should be demolished or not. He has changed his mind. He does not want the building. And I say he because I've been dealing with Ricky Justice as the applicant. The building, he does not want the building to be demolished. So I have from Codes Division that the building needs to be demolished, and I am also in agreement with that. If that does not occur, that needs to go back to the Historic Preservation Commission for review. Also, the other concern we have with that property is the site plan is showing that the project lines, the property lines, is in partial in the alleyway. And so we just need to confirm that the parcel, that his property lines are not in the alleyway. So I have sent an email out to Department of Public Works to confirm that. So that's kind of where we are with that particular property, because the property, the pre-application meeting, I guess, was in 2022. I did request a follow-up pre-application meeting. I think it's scheduled this week with all the operating departments with our pre-application meeting. And that is where I am. I did meet with him, Codes, and I did meet with him last week out in the field to try to clear up the building location, and he wanted to show us where his property lines were, I guess based on his survey, and where the alleyway is. But I just need to determine what portion of the property is actually the alley and what portion is his property, because we can't build from the alley.
We're using, Ms. Darby,
Go ahead.
Ms. Darby, by using what, Mr. Worley said earlier, if you just go out there to the poles and you just step back 19 foot, that's the alley. And looking at it, the manhole is on his property. If you go by those figures that they use, that's what we have to go by right now.
So
we need to get this gentleman started, and now that building is standing, that will not hinder this building going up. It should not. Wait a minute.
Okay.
That building should not hinder him going up in any way. He has reduced his size of his building, and this is holding up a lot of revenue and jobs in that area. And we need to expedite this. As far as going back to the Historical Society, Danny Ross signed off on it. I mean, that's across the road from the Gillespie. That's interesting how far the historical runs across 16th. This neighborhood needs that building, and we need to do everything we can. I'd love to see them started by March 2nd if possible. And if we could expedite it and give, I know that's comical to you, city manager, but there's no way we should be holding them up from 2022 to 2026 regardless. Okay, now it's the city's errors, and you wasn't here, I wasn't here, but I've looked at the plans, and that was part of my job back in the day. The area looks very well, and I don't see why we would not concentrate this next week on getting that done to ensure that he can get in.
Let me add something to that. This man spent $157,000 out of his pocket to promote building a structure on the west side, which is where we're talking about is when you go to Joe Wright Drive and 16th Avenue, you go one block down where the Soul City used to sit, and it's right there, okay? And that's catty corner across from Gillespie Selma, so everybody gets an idea. This man, he's a Cordelian. He moved off to Atlanta. He's done well. He comes back and he wants to invest money in our city along with his wife, who's from here. That's his mama. I ain't going to go into the whole lineage. But anyway, I can. They're here, and they're trying to invest money and time in our town, and this has been going on for well over 3 years. Okay? It's time to put that baby to rest. Give this man whatever he needs. Let's move on. He's not going to go out there into the alley. He's not going to stand on the manhole. The building is not going to be in the way. And what we're doing is holding up progress. We talk about, and I heard this all through the election, about the west side.
The west side.
And right here we are trying to do something for the west side, and I'll be damned if we ain't being held up. So let's stop that and let's move on.
So can I speak now?
Yes, ma'am.
So with no undue respect to the Board of Commissioners, so I do interpret the zoning code, the zoning ordinance for the city of Cordele, and there are a couple of things that hinders me from moving forward. If you like to override what the zoning ordinance says or Historic Preservation Commission says, I have no beef in the game if we just do it legally. In terms of the historic district, so the original project that was approved in 2022 with the historic district, the project uses have changed. So those uses need to go back before the Historic Preservation Commission. And if you don't want to do that, I'm good with that too, but I'm just following the codes. Also, because the property was approved in 2022, we do have a law that says after a certain amount of time that the project needs to be reviewed again. Like just because it was reviewed in 2022 doesn't mean that they're being held up for whatever reasons. The project has changed and the uses has changed. Also in the zoning ordinance, it states that the impervious surface, that there's only so much concrete that you can put on your lot, right? With him having the existing property, the Soul City property, as well as the real retail strip mall that he wants to develop, I just need to ensure that he's not building on more of the lot coverage, the building coverage of the property. And once those issues are handled, a lot of this has to, and we're signed off on him not building in the alleyway. That's a public works. They sign off on that. I'm good. We can move forward. I won't have any problems with this. I do know that I've only been here 7 months. I'm not trying to hold up the project, but I am here to ensure that the west side, as well as all of the city of Cordele, is taken care of. And I don't want to just push a project through because he's been here since 2022. And I'm sorry, I can't speak to what happened 3 years ago.
Is there the proper meeting schedule?
Yeah, so we have a meeting scheduled. I believe this week. So I met with Ricky Justice in the field last week with Codes, and we scheduled a follow-up pre-app meeting this week.
Okay. So you can take it through the proper procedures as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Mayor, how long will that take?
To go.
Gives me to go through all those procedures.
So once we go through our follow-up pre-application meeting, I will know what the other operating departments' requirements are. And to be honest, I was brought in on this project because some of the other operating departments put a hold on it because I wouldn't have known coming in, right? So that's how I kind of got involved in it. But once we go through that process, the other operating departments sign off on the project, and if with determination, if it has to go back before the Historic Preservation Commission, because the use has changed. And also we need to look at the building coverage. Without the building now, the request of the building being demolished, because originally when it came in under my watch, I was under the understanding it was going to be demolished, and I didn't have a problem with it at that time.
Okay.
And so, Mr. Mayor, if I may, so the Historic Preservation Commission, if it has to go back before them, they meet on, is it the third Wednesday of the month?
I don't know off the top of my head, but yeah, they meet once a month, and we could get it on the agenda for that.
I think it's the third Wednesday.
Okay. So that can be on the first, you can give us an update in first meeting in March?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This is what's the problem. This is a issue with the city of Cordele. Not with
That's right.
I mean, she quoted several other ordinances in there, and I would be happy to look at them. But this gentleman's been here since 2022, and everything on his documents that I looked at was great. He went on and beyond what he needs to do. We're talking, he might have more concrete than normal. Okay. I look at QT, I look at all these other places that have concrete. We're trying to put something on the west side that's going to increase jobs. It's going to be a restaurant, so I know there's going to be at least one other commissioner sitting over there that's going to eat there. I know that. We like to eat. But I look forward to it, and it seems to me you're doing everything you can to do diligence. That we need to expedite this. I mean, we need to hand carry this baby through, call meetings, do whatever we can to get this gentleman breaking ground and get this project started. Because to me, it just sounds, and I'm gonna come from the citizen side, that's delay. And it's been delayed. All the buildings that building's sitting there, there's a ton of houses through this area here that need to come down, but that building, to me, well, that's a little bit of history there, but that's their option. Okay, so anything you can do, Ms. Mary, to expedite, make phone calls, make this, I would hope that you would make phone calls and expedite it to get the gentleman breaking ground by March. I mean, it can be done. We've done it.
So
let me add something to that. The building in question, former Soul City Club, used to belong or did belong to at one time Mr. Clement C. Gaston, and was ran by Mr. Harvey, Michael Harvey's daddy. I remember him very well because me and him played football together in high school. But that building right there was probably built in the late 40s, early 50s. It's a cinder block building. I really, other than it was the Soul City Club, don't see of any great historical significance to it. However, it is in the district, which is Gillespie Selden, which is very historic. So I get the historical part, but the man offered off the get-go to fix up the building on the front and just keep it to begin with and make it look nice instead of looking like an old cinder block building. And he was turned down by the Historical Society for that. Can't make any adjustments to the outside. They can only be done on the inside. So what Commissioner Singletary is getting at is that it seems like to me we meet to have another meeting so we can meet and discuss what meeting we're going to have. We meet too much.
I don't know, but I would like to say that The holdup with the project is not totally the city of Cordele. It was actually the applicant who Ricky Justice advised me that the project was not moving forward. And then he was hired, I guess, as the contractor or whatever, to push the project through. So I've only worked with Ricky Justice. He's so whoever was doing the project before, the project was not moving. So it hasn't been since 3 years. It's just been kind of stuck from that issue. And one other issue, I do understand that for the uses, he wants a hair salon, a beauty salon, a barber shop, the restaurant, an office building. So those are, and I'm not even going to go into the uses, but those are a lot of uses in that area. But one thing from a planning perspective that I am concerned about, that I would need some guidance on, is that he wants to have access to his property through the alleyway. So he would have access from 16th Avenue. There's ingress and egress. Then there's also ingress and egress off of 12th Street. And then he wants access from the alleyway. So from the conversations that I've been hearing about the alleyway and possibly putting the trash trucks back in the alleyway, I did kind of halt on that one. I did express that to him out in the field, that I would have to follow up on that one, because I would decline having access to his property from the alleyway. But that's a bigger conversation than me that I had to follow up on. So that would be one other issue that I would have. But other than that,
The alleyway in question also is rather wide. I mean, it's opened up. The difference between this alley and a lot of them is when you get to the Joe Wright Drive-In, that section right there, the old chicken box sits right there, and it was built about 3.5 feet or 4 feet over into what is the existing alley, is what it looks like. And that all came about is because after 1964, the interstate opened up and everything started moving to the east. The city fathers of Cordele didn't give 2 cents about what happened in the west. And so that was allowed to just be grandfathered in. They built a building where it didn't need to be built. It wasn't, I don't believe it was surveyed properly to begin with. But either way, it's still big enough that you can make a run through there. And I mean, let's just fix it. I just call it like I see it. I call it like it is. I ain't sitting there trying to be proper.
If you need guidance, I say, let him have it. I mean, the alley's wide enough. You can probably use it for trucks coming in. The trash is only picked up once a week. So, and he'll probably have his trash cans back there anyway. So, why not leave it there? It's used now.
So,
like freeway.
okay, if I get that in writing, that you would like for me to move forward on this project and go ahead with the alleyway. I think we measured it was 16 feet. It was when we were out there last week. I think from the pole to where he proposed his property line was, I think it was only like 16 feet. And also there is a water sewer main in the alleyway. But if I get that in writing that you would like for me to move forward, I won't have a problem with that.
The landowner was 6 feet on his.
Right, from where, I'm just saying from where we went out in the field and showed, go ahead.
Excuse me, I was gonna say, there is, a shell gas main in that alley as well.
Yeah.
That something's gonna have to be addressed, because we don't have an official no scrape list, but that is on the no scrape list, because there's a no blow that is real shallow, and a motor grader would hit it.
We can build that up. He's even said he put pressure on that. I mean, he'll do anything to get this project started.
But that just needs to be known.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's over my head, and so if I get something in writing from the decision makers and my supervisor, I won't have a problem moving the project forward. But of course, it would be against what the codes of ordinances would say. Thank you. That's it.
Can you, Ms. Mayor, can you send me those codes and ordinances you're
Absolutely.
referring to?
Is that okay, City Manager? Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be looking forward to the update the 1st of March.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. Agenda item number 11, City Manager's report.
Good morning again. City Manager's report for February 17th, 2026. And first, I'd just like to start with a reminder that Miss Pickens is still missing, and so I know sometimes we tend to forget and move on in life, but I just want to just remind the community that she's still missing, and if you have any tips or information, please call the tip line, share it with the police department. February is Black History Month, and with that, the Cordele Historic Awards Committee had their Black History Month exhibit over at Blackshear Place, and there were several individuals who went through to see the display, and as you can see, Commissioner Shepherd, Mayor Pro Tem Shepherd, was one of those who went through the exhibit. Again, it was held at Blackshear Place on February 7th. The Barbecue Bash, Bike, and Truck Show was also held on February 7th at the Lions Club, and so there are a few pictures from that event. On February 11th, we had the grand reopening of the children's area at the library. If you all remember, there was some maintenance work that needed to be done, as well as some other issues there at the library. Those have been taken care of, and so the area is really nice and bright and cheery. So hopefully the kids will continue to go and enjoy the space at the library. Carter Jane Smith is a 6-year-old. She held her book signing event, and as you can see, she enjoyed signing books for the public. Colony Bank went to the Reginald Barry Senior Citizen Center and handed out Valentine's gifts and just different things that the citizens need, and so they all enjoyed having them there. Again, this is a feature now that we have on the city's website page, and so if you're looking for a pet, go and check out the Pet of the Week. Christian Homes is still leasing. Of course, this is the new development on West 25th Avenue, and so they are still looking for tenants. The information there is there if you would like to apply. In keeping with Black History Month, South Georgia Tech has an event today at 11 o'clock at the South Technical Campus here in Cordele. On February 19th, Maurice has set up a program for those who have heirs property, and if they want information on how to legally transfer the ownership into their name, if they've received code violations for repairs and maintenance, want to rent or sell it, but it's not legally yours. And there's a lot of property here in Cordele that when we get ready to deal with maintenance issues, it is heir property. And so, Maurice, anything you want to add to that? I think it is from 12 noon to 1:30. If you want to be in person, it will be held at the community clubhouse. But there is an option to attend virtually, attend the meeting virtually. Is that correct? Okay. All right. And then again, in keeping with Black History Month, Miss Rutha Mae Harris will be at Gethsemane Baptist Church on Sunday, February 22nd at 10:30 a.m. The Chamber of Commerce 76th Annual Dinner will be held February 26th at 6:30 p.m. at Cordele First, not at Lake Blackshear, because they are going through renovations. So it will be held at Cordele First this year. The American Red Cross Blood Drive will be held on March 3rd at the Community Clubhouse from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then again, if you need help, you have a simple tax return, then UGA has a program that can help you with your taxes. On March 19th, BGES will hold an educational resource fair for students and their families from 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. And then coming from the Ministers Association, a Bible reading marathon for crisp. This is the first in this area from Friday, April 10th until Friday, April 17th. If you would like to participate, you can scan the QR code to participate in that event. And also out of the ministers group, they are planning a community-wide sunrise service. From my understanding, we used to have those years ago, and so that is another event that they are planning for this year. Taking pride in our community, this is the pilot program for Ward 1 that will take place on Saturday, March 21st from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. And so we would like for all to come out and participate. And then, of course, we have the Recreation Center Baseball Opening Day pop-up health fair from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., and that is on March 28th. Upcoming event. The Planning Commission meeting will be held on February 19th, 10 a.m. here in the courtroom. And if you all remember, Double Up Outdoors is the developer for the Orchard subdivision on 20th. And so the Planning Commission will be, they will be before the Planning Commission requesting approval of a modification to the approved and recorded Orchard subdivision final plat, and the modification proposes to increase the total number of approved residential lots from 47 to 54, and that is on 11.23 acres of land. And again, it's located at East 20th Avenue. So I know when they first started the process, we had residents come out to the public hearing. And so again, we are inviting all to come out for the public hearing before the Planning Commission on February 19th at 10 a.m. And then based on what happens in the Planning Commission, then there will be a public hearing scheduled before the Board of Commissioners on March 17th. And so 2 opportunities for the residents to come out and receive information regarding this project. On February 26th at 10 a.m., here in the courtroom, the Board of Zoning Appeals will meet, and the Board of Zoning Appeals will hear a request from Lamar Advertising to increase the maximum display area for the sign at Motel 6. And so again, that meeting will be held on February 26th, and again, it's the Board of Zoning Appeals. Sam's Short Line is coming to Cordele early this year. Normally it's scheduled in June. However, this year it will be held in March, and the dates are listed there along with the link to Sam's Short Line if you would like to purchase tickets and the phone number. Again, just want to keep this in the forefront for those who need assistance with their mortgage. The GMA program for mortgage assistance, the deadline is March 31st, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. The information is down on the screen as the website and phone numbers that you can call. And just a reminder again, occupation licenses are due April 1st, and so that is the deadline for those. And we're still receiving renewals for alcohol licenses, even though that deadline was December 31st, and there's no grace period for alcohol license. In terms of city updates, the drive-through window, the bulletproof window was installed, was it Friday? Thursday, Friday. And so once that kind of settled in, and then Wes has some things he needs to take care of on the outside since the window has been installed, then hopefully we'll be able to open it up, and I know a lot of citizens will be happy. It's been a long time coming. As far as the city dumpster location at 814 East 11th Avenue, again, the hours of operation this week are 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Saturday 8 a.m. to 12 noon. And just a reminder of the request regarding the ARPA project road closure And is that still scheduled for the 16th through the 19th, Scott? Okay, so the Burnett Boulevard is closed now through the 19th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so just wanted to remind the public about that. I'll come back to the budget amendment. You have that information at your seat. The Heart of Georgia Railroad, they reached out to me regarding a detour for 15th. They will be upgrading the tracks for ADS. I asked for the information to be sent so I could place it before you all. They did not include a date or have a date, so maybe it's something that they will have for the next meeting. But again, that is the detour for the Heart of Georgia Railroad. And then one thing I did add to my report is Janice received her certified city clerk certification. She actually completed the course and all the work related to it in the fall of last year, but she had to wait until the conference this year, which was held, Janice, was it the first of this month? Okay, held the first of this month before she could receive her certificate. So again, she's now a certified city clerk. And now, in terms of action items, I will go back to the budget amendment that you have before you. The first one, if you all remember, we received donations for the animal shelter in the amount of $45,000. And so when the budget was approved, this amount was not in the budget. And so basically, this is amending the budget to add donations received for the animal shelter for $45,000. And then the second amendment is the request to add LMIG funds to the project, to the budget, because again, we had not received the funds at that time, and now we have received funds for LMIG projects. And so, again, this budget request is to add LMIG funds to the budget. And so that's what I have for the request for approval.
Okay, Commissioners, y'all heard the city manager. Is there a motion to approve the budget amendments as requested?
So moved.
Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion approved. Everybody said yay.
Okay. All right. And with that, unless there are any questions, that's all that I have for today.
Commissioners, is there any questions for the city manager? Okay. Thank you, Ms. Angela.
Okay, thank you.
City attorney's report.
One brief thing, y'all passed a resolution in January, opting out, actually repealing the one we opted out and then opting in of the homestead exemption. We got to notice that we made the Secretary of State have received.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Are there any questions for the city attorney? Okay. Is there any need for executive session? Okay. There's a motion to go into executive session for personnel. Is there a second? Okay, there's no second for executive session. Okay, agenda item added is going to be for the city manager's contract. Is there a motion to discuss the city manager's contract? Okay.
Yes, I have a motion. Sorry.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there any nays?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna say yay to discuss the city manager's contract. Okay. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I make a Motion, I move that the city commission vote to not continue the at-will employment of the city manager effective immediately.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, there's a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Nays?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna vote yay. Okay.
Thank you all for the opportunity to serve Cordele, to the citizens, thank you all. It has been a pleasure to serve the hometown where I grew up, and this will not be the last that you all hear from me, because there are no reasons given as to why I did not continue in my employment. So apparently there are other issues that are behind it. And so, Daryl, so I see you take him motion to adjourn. But anyway, thank you all. It's been a pleasure. And God bless you all and God bless Cordele.
Okay. Chief Hicks and
Yes.
Chief Algo, would y'all please help Miss Angela with anything she needs? Okay. Okay, is there a, any other motions at this time?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Oh, wait a minute.
Wait.
I withdraw.
Withdraw?
Yep. I make a motion to appoint,
Yes.
intern David Wade to interim city manager until one can successfully manage.
I second that motion.
Okay, I didn't carry the other motion, so I'll carry that motion of appointing David Wade as the interim city manager.
But I asked him if he takes it.
Yeah, well, you accept that.
Well, there's a motion, we got a
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
All right, there's a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, David, will you accept?
I'll be glad to assist in any way possible.
Okay. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.